A good night of Shabbos. A good night of Shabbos. So we made it. We made it through the first month of Adar. Made it through the first month of Adar, and it was wild. A lot of koyach and poil, a lot of just force. So much force, so much energy, so much koyach. And at some point we feel like we're all bloated. We're about to explode. We can almost feel it exploding, and it shows up. To everybody chooses how to let it show up, how I'm going to take it. So usually what we use is we use the weakest link. The weakest link in the chain is where we use to communicate, to receive the next upgrade or the next download of the next step in consciousness of oir, of light. And just to explain how this works is that we now know that whenever there is a negative force, whenever there is a tzitzechatimuldu, that we know that something is pushing it. We already now know that choshech does not have an existence. Choshech is only living off because of what's on the other side of it. Right? Same way we just know space when you put the furniture, that's when you know the space. Before then it's just empty space. It becomes space as you put the walls around it. That's when you start noticing what's in the space, the empty space. So too, when there's a tremendous force, a tremendous kick, where the midas are acting up, the koyach hashar is acting, the behemoth, the nefesh behemoth is acting up, we know what's the push. I'm looking what's the push. So right away, as we are in other aleph, when there's tremendous koyach coming down in poil, which means that we can't act it out yet because it's raw energy. It's here to clean, to purge, to push. We're talking here about downloading das adala yada. In other words, levels of Yom Kippurim, levels of Kodesh Kodeshim, in Purim costume, in full color, which means there is a manifestation of Atzmas Orin Soif in Welt through Achashverosh. Achashverosh is the Rosh, and he's bringing the darkness. So we can see how else is such a high level going to show up to bring out the point on the other side. Only through such squeeze, so I'm forced to see a new level of emunah, a new level of surrender, because I have no choice. I have to surrender and see the kindness in that too, until boom, the tachas hakavana is that he wanted to be expressed in such a beautiful way that we can have so much more appreciation now. So now that we went through this month and we're fully injected. So what tells us the parsha last week? Kisisa Esroish, Bnei Yisrael, pick up your heads. Pick up your heads. What happens when you pick up your head? Instead of walking down, instead of being busy in low frequency, instead of being busy with das tachten, instead of worrying and dealing with my negativity, I'm raising my consciousness and I'm going into das elyon. In das elyon, that's when low frequency conversation has no space anymore. It doesn't hold up any space. So this week we have, once you raise your head up and you get out from the ground like a behemoth, Vayakal Moshe es kol hadas b'nei Yisrael. That's where Moshe comes in. Moshe is das, is the kesher which is connecting the worlds, because he can bring presence. He brings presence into no matter where he's holding. So once you raise your head, is Vayakal Moshe es kol hadas b'nei Yisrael. From that space, magnetic field, you got zapped into, taken in tachas kamfei Shechina. You're in a higher altitude, you're in a higher frequency, and there is no space for flies in here. So of course, once you go into Das Elyon, what are we talking about? Once you raise your conscissness, in other words, if you want to, once you're in this higher consciousness, it's always Shabbos. Every day is Yom Shekul Shabbos in levels to be developed. And if you don't, Yimas, you're dead. And as Targum says on that, Be'avadata Yiskatel, you're stoned. Stone, you know what stoning looks like? All the problems that's coming and hitting. Because the only time we can properly align with perfect alignment of this, the Dakas Diga Oyer, of this power, because it's wild Oyers. It's all over the place. Marbim Besimcha, it's colorful. The only place where I can line myself up with that and ground it is Shabbos, when I'm aligned, because I don't have to do much. I eat, I sleep, everything is in that presence. So just to be mindful of that. V'yami Moshe el kol das b'nei Yisrael lema zeh davar shetziva Hashem lema k'chi me'itchem trumen Hashem kol div libu yeve'er estrimus Hashem zov v'chesed v'nechoshes. This is what you're going to bring from your donation Lashem to higher consciousness Yudke Vavke. Kol div libu, whatever your heart desires, whatever you want to bring, let it be zov, kesef, nechoshes, whatever it is that you're struggling with, bring it. That's the truma you can give. That's how you participate. And this is the truma of the Machzis HaShekel, which is Parshas Shkolim. The Machzis HaShekel is that I'm bridging the gap. How is something that is so pure and so innocent going to bridge? How can we communicate with that when we're such behemoths? When you apply that, instead of being busy with all the color that you have, to be busy with Das Tachten, with my problems and spinning in it, bring it Lashem. Find the light in it. Go, rise above. Go Asay Tov. Go to the light. Find the positivity in that. That's how you bring the Truma to Yudke Vavke, which in return you receive back the other half of the Machzis HaShekel, which is the 10 midas of higher consciousness. And this is Meidamim, Oiris Techashim, Atzashitim, whatever you want to bring. Shem Elamoyer, Torah, Avne Shem. Okay, these are all in Yanam. And then Vayetzi Koladas B'nai Yisrael Lifnei Moshe. So this week is we're benching the Shabbos Mevarchim for other bays. And the Oiris are going to come in B'poil now. They're going to come in B'poil. Tavshim Pei Beis, the Heishnas Panim B'Panim, other Beis, Panim B'Panim. We're going to see stuff Panim B'Panim. So says Chassidus, so what the Rebbe is telling us. So now that I've been through the squeeze from the whole month, and I'm feeling the kick, I'm feeling the pain, it's time to go to the Truman Lashem. Don't be busy with the pain. Don't spin in that, but rather apply it step into the positive. To be able, now you're starting to transform this pain into light, into oil. It's very, very painful. It's too much. How can I just forgive myself so easily? Marbim B'Simcha. There is 2 power generators. There are Marbim B'Simcha. If you put a smile, when you're putting a smile on your face, automatically the back of the neck cracks. It's the lock, it's where Pare holds us. He holds us hostage by keeping us enslaved in low frequency, by being depressed, anxiety, and all that stuff. So by putting a smile, first you crack that, and then feel that, watch that going down into the lower body till it goes down into the stomach, the core, which is Teferes, and that's when you have the Kavamuna gliding. Important Tillim, the Shabbos Mevarchim Tillim, and the Friediger Rebbe, the Rebbe is saying, if we would know what we're doing by saying Tehillim for generations, because it's basically we're bringing down the Legos, we're bringing down the Oisias. So once again, as we know that everything we do, we're encouraged to do it with Kavanah, to be mindful. Otherwise, it's okay. Tehillim we're sitting there, we're saying it, and we have no clue what we're saying. It's poetry. You don't know what you're saying. The avoid of Tillim, the kavanah of Tehillim is not to have kavanah, just to be b'simcha. Say it with simcha, say it with happiness. And as I'm saying it with simcha, I'm bringing in thousands and thousands of blocks, empty blocks, of simcha blocks, which look like the alabis you are saying, which goes out in olam ha'machshava. It creates a vape, and it goes all the way up. The letters are creating worlds, connecting more positivity. So as we fill up these blocks, Rosh Chodesh is when the head of the consciousness reveals, and then throughout the month we keep walking with that. So now we have all these blocks, these happy letters that are just magnetic field coming back to us, because these are the letters, the birds, they fly, the nesher, they always come back from where they were sent out of. So it has no choice. Gravity comes back to you. So as you have the Tillim, you have the letters as much as you can say, and the letters begleite as they come magnetic. As I need them, the more I need them, the stronger they will hit, the more power. And when it hits, as we're going to be downloading this oil, you have happy letters that keep hitting you in the head. So don't forget to communicate, smile, have an awesome Shabbos, and of course we got to say l'chaim. Otherwise, what's the point, right? How is a behemoth supposed to be happy? You got to give him a little something to keep him, to get him going. Have an awesome Shabbos.